Anthropologie dupes. Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Elena. If you're new here, welcome. I'm so grateful that you decided to check this video out. I post weekly DIY videos on a super duper tight budget. This week's video is all about Anthropologie dupes. I love Anthropologie. Who doesn't? But it is so insane. I don't got that kind of cash. Okay? And so I took it upon myself to replicate 3 of their products that I absolutely loved. And the best part is that it's all from the Dollar Tree. Of course, some of the stuff I had on hand, like paint, paintbrushes, hot glue, all that kind of stuff, but you can get that at the Dollar Tree if you are just starting out and you don't have any of that. But all of the main things that I used, I got completely from the Dollar Tree, and everything that I made was less than $5. Okay. For one of the projects, I used my own dried flowers, but if you don't have that, you can always use Dollar Tree's florals. They have actually a pretty good variety. So if you don't have your own dried flowers, go ahead and use Dollar Tree's and that will work just fine. And if you like this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for those weekly DIY videos. And with that, let's jump into the projects. Everyone loves a good hanging basket, and Anthropologies are just awesome. So I wanted to replicate one of them for this first project. I used a charger and nautical rope from the Dollar Tree. I started by untwisting the nautical rope into 3 strands, and in total I used less than 2.5 bundles of this. Once it was untwisted, I put a dot of hot glue in the center of the charger and pressed one end of the rope down. From here, I started the process of just gluing the rope down in a spiral. I'm not gonna lie, this took a while, but it was totally worth the time. Once I was at the end, I made sure I couldn't see any of the charger from the front or the sides. I glued the little tail down in the back and got ready to paint. With a chalk pen, I drew the design on, and this made it so much easier to paint. I really wanted to mimic the color of Anthropologie's basket, so I did some color mixing to get as close as I could to match theirs. Painting the rope did take a while because it just kind of soaked the paint up, but I found that using a stiff bristled brush made a huge difference and sped up the process. While I was painting the peach and white colors on, I actually was not super optimistic that it was going to turn out well, but once I started with the blue, I got really excited. That contrast of the deep blue just made the whole project come together. To hang this, I used E6000 to glue a picture hanger to the back. Here's a peek at how it turned out. For the second project, I wanted to recreate Anthropologie's Bellin utensil jar. I started with one of Dollar Tree's round glass vases and this cylinder cardboard container that I found in the party section. I needed to take the bottom off the container, so I cut a hole and it actually peeled off really easily. I took some Dollar Tree nautical rope, and just like in the first project, I untwisted it so I had 3 thinner strands. I wrapped the cylinder in the rope with hot glue. I was a little concerned that this would feel flimsy and cheap because this part was made of cardboard, but once it was all wrapped, it was nice and heavy and felt super durable. From here, I mixed some paint to get as close to Anthropologie's terracotta color as possible, and then added some baking soda to get the texture I wanted. I painted the round glass vase with 2 coats of my paint. Once that was dry, I used E6000 to attach the 2 pieces together. I love how this turned out, and I think it's a great dupe for Anthropologie's pricey utensil jar. Anthropologie has the coolest dried flower art, but it's insanely expensive. So for my last project, I'm making easy dried flower canvas art. I started with the framed 8x10 canvases from Dollar Tree and my own dried flowers. Like I mentioned, feel free to use Dollar Tree flowers, or let me know in the comments if you'd like to see a tutorial on drying your own flowers. So I took a sprig for my dried flowers and it was a little long, so I snapped some of the lower sprigs off so it would fit nicely on the canvas. And then all I did was apply a few small dots of hot glue to the back of my sprig and gently press it down on the canvas. Dried flowers are so lightweight that I barely needed any glue. Because I had a bunch of dried flowers, I made another one and hung them as a pair. I hung them on a dark wall and I love the striking contrast. Okay people, I hope you enjoyed this week's projects. If you did, I'd love if you gave this video a thumbs up, and please make sure to subscribe to my channel for weekly DIY videos. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you back here soon.